I've been making Cabernet Franc since 1993. It's a very challenging grape. For those of you who aren't really familiar with what Cabernet Franc is, it's the father of Cabernet Sauvignon. I think of it as being sort of older and wiser. Cabernet Sauvignon can be big and well-muscled. It's sort of, sometimes they say it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Cabernet Franc is more like Jamie Lee Curtis. Has a lot of depth, a lot more floors on the elevator. Most of the Cabernet Francs that I've made have had to be blends. First of all, Cabernet Franc is extremely vigorous, and so you have to grow it on a limiting site, and there are several ways of getting that vine to struggle. If you grow on real rocky soils, you have a tendency to make a wine that's really macho and tannic and well-framed, but without a lot of fruit. And so in other situations, we'll cut back the canopy and open it up and grow a lot of cover crop to compete with the vine. And then we get wines that are much more feminine, almost like Grenache with a lot of plums, but not so much structure. And so then I've been blending those wines together, and I never thought I'd find a complete Cabernet Franc in one place, and yet here it is. The unique combination of that very porous, decomposed granite volcanic soil that does force the vine to put its vigor into the root system and give us all this sort of mineral energy. And the lake effect of the vineyard being right next to Clear Lake gives us a lot of bright red fruit. So let's, as you'll see, it's a very pretty color, but not as dark as we would normally expect from a Cabernet Sauvignon. The other thing about Cabernet Franc is it takes a long time to age. And so this is a 2011, and it's got decades to go. But it's already giving us this bright, I call it a white cherry sort of aroma. And then there's a little bit of sage, because it's very dry up there, and so we get a little of the sort of droughty herbs that are around there. No bell pepper, though. That bright, intense sunlight keeps us from getting vegetal aromas, but we do get the Cabernet Franc characteristic herbal aromas, sage or maybe rosemary. And then there's just a beginning emerging bouquet. It's very hard to describe. It's very sexy, a little bit like aged Romano cheese or truffle or something like that. Maybe an umami kind of character. And then what really characterizes Cabernet Franc in general, and this one in particular, is the incredible energy that's in the mouth. This is a terrific wine for fruit preparations like pork and cherries or duck à l'orange. I love it with barbecued duck breast. And then that mineral energy is also associated with age worthiness, and so that wine's going to last for a good 10 or 15 years in a decent cellar.